Hey. Have you been thinking about starting your speaking engagements or booking your first speaking gig? Or maybe people often tell you, you should be a public speaker. You should speak and get paid for speaking. If that's what you're interested in, this is the session for you. I'm going to talk to you and give you 5 to 7 just practical strategies that you can use to ignite, to start your speaking career. However, we want to speak and get paid for it. We don't want to speak for free because when you speak, you're adding value to the event that you are speaking at, and you are providing inspiration and motivation. And so you should get paid for that because the people paid to come to that event, the people paid for the tickets, and they will likely make an offer and make money on the back end. And so you should get paid for that. And so let's talk about what you need to do to book your first speaking engagement. If this is interesting to you or you know someone who's trying to book their first speaking engagement, I need you to go ahead and share this live with them so that they can get started. Now is the perfect time. It's the end of the year, and a lot of people are setting up their 2025 events, and you can be one of those featured speakers. So if you're with me live, give me a hey, what's up, what's going on? And if you're catching this in the replay, give me a hashtag replay, and let's go ahead and get into it. So, the first thing that you need to do to land your first speaking gig, you got to first talk about what it is that you're doing. See, a lot of us, we have this passion, we have this thing that we do that we love, and we don't talk about it. More than likely, your first speaking opportunity is right in your circle, but you have to be talking about it. And I'm not talking about the components of your program. You should be talking about your why. Like a lot of you all know, I talk a lot about women living their dream life. I talk about abundance. And how do we get there? We get there through consulting. But my why is I want to live my dream life. And I feel like every woman should be able to live her dream life and not the life that other people have dictated for her to have. And so I talk about that with my friends, with my family, anytime I'm out. I'm not talking about consulting. I'm talking about the thing behind the consulting or the thing that is the reason for the consulting. Good morning. Ashley, this is actually live. You got me live on YouTube, okay? So good morning, good morning. So I want you to really define your topic and your audience. We're not talking to anybody and everybody. Now, the first thing you got to think about is, do I really know what I want to talk about? We're not talking about the thing that you do. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about, say, let's say that you are a teacher. We're not talking about you being a teacher. We might be talking about the passion behind you being a teacher, or something that like maybe you love advocacy for students. You're going to talk about why that is and how you got to that point. So you really have to define excuse me, your speaking topic. Your topic needs to solve a problem or answer a question. So one of the things that I get booked on is I talk about sisterhood. I talk about how as we're getting older, it's known that men die before women, and the women are normally left, without a circle because they gave up their circle for their husband. And so I talk about the 5 type of women you need in your life and how to get them. That's just something that I'm passionate about. And I know that I have 4 sisters. I have a best friend that I've had been best friends for years, and I have strategically built relationships with other women so that I can have people in my life that will help to bring me joy, that will give me the ability to take risk. And so when I talk about these things and I tell them what I call it, these are my cupboard, and then people will say, oh, that's interesting. How did you come up with that? So now we're talking about it. And then I just simply say, and I love talking to people about this, especially women, helping them to gain a different perspective. If you know any organizations or anything that aligns with what I speak about, feel free to refer me. Just that simple. Just that simple. So, but you have to be clear on your topic. So let me give you an example for the educators. If you are an educator, Let's say your topic is how to support new teachers in the classroom, or maybe it's building equity in education. While that is your topic, that's the thing that you speak on, you should be talking about the why behind that. And you should be really passionate about it. Why do you want to build equity? What was the thing that happened that made you say, I want to build equity? And then you got to make sure that it's coming from a positive perspective and not from a negative perspective. Okay, so the second thing that you need to do, and I already kind of mentioned it a little bit, is start with your existing network. Start with your existing network. I'm telling you, 99% of the time, your first opportunity is right there in your phone. It's in your contacts. It's in the people that you know. It doesn't have to come from a big stage. I also want you to dispel that myth. It doesn't mean that it's going to be a huge stage. What if you're talking to someone that you're at an event or somewhere, and you're talking to someone, and that person is a professor at a college, and they ask you if you will come in and speak to the graduate students about the thing that you do about building equity in the classroom? Well, they're inviting you in to speak in front of 30 or 40 people. Is that not a speaking engagement? And then you simply ask if there's a budget that's involved with this. And typically there is, but if you don't ask, you don't get it. And then you move forward and get the date and time and see what you need to do to forward your invoice or whatever. But we got to stop thinking that it's this big, like tremendous thing that you need to do. It's not. It's literally beginning to talk about it in a way that makes it clear what you're passionate about. And it's not just you ranting about something. You have to show that you're clear on this topic. This is something that you've invested time in, and that you can be a great source of inspiration, information, and motivation. And once you do that, people will begin to take notice to you. But if you're never talking about it, no one knows that you do this thing, and you've never even mentioned it, no one is going to know it because they are only going to see you as a teacher. So your first speaking gig can come from like local schools, they can come from community organizations, it can even come from church groups and nonprofits that align with what it is that you're doing. And you definitely want to reach out to your former colleagues that you worked with, as well as your professional connections that you might have. All of us who are in sororities and fraternities, all of us who are a part of these other types of organizations, National Council for this, and 100 Black women for this, and ladies for this. You need to be letting the people in that organization know that this is a topic that you are really clear about. And if there's ever a need for your services, you would love to speak at their upcoming event. They won't know. A lot of times people don't know what they need until you tell them. So if you're joining me live, give me a hey, what's up? What's going on in the chat? And if you are a future listener, give me a hashtag replay to let me know that you listened from the future. So I want you to send a simple message. I'm giving you direct strategies. Like if you are really serious about speaking, being a speaker, or using it as another arm of income, because we do get paid really good for speaking. Um, Send a simple message. It's just as simple. Send a simple message that tells what your expertise is, what your topic is, and how it might serve their community, and that you would love to be a part of any of their upcoming events. It's that simple. It's not 5, 10 paragraphs. It's not all this other stuff. It's just that simple. Because these are people that you already know. These are people, and you don't have to know them like we hung out. You need to be able to make a connection. I'm a member of this fraternity. I'm a member of this organization. I'm an alumni of this. And you just let them know. I was a former teacher at your school. I was a former employee at DA. And now I want to make sure that you're aware that I speak on blank, this topic, my area of expertise, and I would love to be considered for your upcoming event. A lot of times we know what their upcoming event is. And even if they can't get you in this year, they might get you in next year. So I definitely want you to send that simple email. Number three, I think this is really important, and I think you can get this done really quickly, especially with the tech tools that we have present day. I want you to create a one pager or a speaker bio. And I don't want you to take, 2 months to do this. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning. Thank you for joining. So I don't want you to take 2 weeks to do this. I want you to go on Canva and you just want to present yourself professionally to your potential host. This is all this is for, because we got to be ready. We can't go out trying to get ready. We got to be ready. So a speaker page or a one-page bio, you can go right to Canva. They already have the template set out for you. Find a great picture of yourself. You're going to give your name and your title. And then you're going to give your 3 speaking topics. Typically, you want to speak about 3 things. And you want to just give a brief description. And then you want to give your contact information. That's it. You're going to have a headshot. And that's it, guys. That's it. You don't have to go pay someone hundreds of dollars to do this. You don't have to go on Fiverr. You can literally go into Canva. Good morning, Camille. Good morning. You can literally go into Canva and you can literally get a one pager or speaking bio. And the key is not to make it too complicated. You want it to be really simple. And the one thing that I want to make sure that you all don't lock yourself into only one thing. So broaden a little bit what it is that you're doing. So like if you're building equity in classrooms, can it be building equity in organizations? Or just say building equity and then give the description of what you're talking about. So don't only limit yourself to teaching positions or to the world of education, because you can teach people how to build equity in church groups. You can teach people how to build equity in cohorts. You can teach them how to build equity in their own organization. You know what I'm saying? So don't just lock yourself into only teaching. So when I think about what I do, the way that I was able to expand what it is that I'm doing, I came here and I was only talking to teachers. And I was like, hey, educators, hey. And I was like, y'all need to do this and think about this. And if you're trying to do this, because I was a teacher and I know some of the pitfalls that teachers fall into, because I fell into them too. And so I was saying, hey, watch out. Teachers, don't do this, don't do that. And then I had to realize that the things that I'm saying, while they are very true for teachers and teachers get great value from what it is that I'm sharing, other people get value from it too. But the way that I was able to realize that, my sisters were like, that live that you did, that really helped me. My friends were like, you know what, your live came across my screen and I was listening to you and that made sense. And I was like, oh, okay, because I was only talking to teachers. And they were like, no, that makes sense. And then the kicker was when my husband was like, oh yeah, I listened to your video. That made a lot of sense. And I was like, oh, you're not a teacher. And so then I realized, oh, the message can go for everybody, but I was just talking to teachers. And so then I had to stop just directing it directly to teachers. So your message is good for more than just a single classroom. It's good for more than just a building. So you can really talk about that thing, okay? So on your one pager, make sure that you're not just directing it directly to schools if you want to speak in more places than schools. So if you're trying to get into church groups, if you're trying to get into community organizations, if you're trying to get into professional settings where you have a connection, make sure that you are not just talking only about the classroom. So strategy 3 was create your one pager. Number four, you got to learn to pitch yourself strategically. hmm Yeah, let me tell you how. If you got a pen, you should be writing this down. I'm giving you the keys. Some of y'all gonna go out. You gonna enroll in a course to speak. You're gonna pay them 1,000, 2,000. First, y'all gonna start with a challenge. It's gonna be $97, but it's not gonna give you all of the things that you need. And then you're gonna enroll in their course, and you're gonna pay thousands of dollars. When I'm sitting here and I'm giving you the answers right here, free of charge, no charge, because I know that we are highly gifted and talented. And if I'm telling you what to do, all you have to do is stop and think about it. Camille says an advocacy group wanted to know how my services could help them. I love that, Camille, because this is I haven't even finished reading. Let me put you up on the screen. I haven't even finished reading the rest of Camille's statement, but a lot of times they don't know how you can help, but they know that they need help. So she says an advocacy group wanted to know how my services could help them. She's currently they are faced with rhetoric that immigrants are taking away jobs in the country. What could be a good topic to speak on? Oh, wow, that is a good one. That is a good one. So they are dealing with the fact that there is conversation and feelings in the air that immigrants are taking away the jobs of the citizens, and they want to know what could be a good topic to speak on. Oh, if somebody is listening and you got ideas on that, put it in the chat because we would love to help Camille out. I think that there are a number of ways that you can think about that. But the first thing is, who would you be speaking to? Would you be speaking to the immigrants who are the ones who will be taking the jobs? Or would you be speaking to audiences who have this belief? And so you are working to give them information to change that belief. So that could be two speakers, two audiences. You know what I'm saying? Either you're speaking to the immigrants, trying to motivate them to let them know, no, this is not the case. Keep pushing forward, be resilient, keep going. Or you could be speaking to the citizens who have this feeling that the people are taking a job, and you're letting them know, now we know that that's not true, and giving them inspiration. So put in the chat which group you're speaking to. Uh, Melissa says, yes, these speaker coaches will definitely take your money and leave you looking for paid speaking gigs. Right. And really, all you have to do are these steps. So let me tell you how you're going to pitch yourself. Yep. Melissa says, mindset and confidence topics. So let me tell you what you need to do to pitch yourself strategically. Strategically. And let me be clear. I don't care who you get as your coach. I don't care who you get or how much you pay. It does not matter, because at the end of the day, you're going to get some no's. Okay. It does not work like that where you decide, I'm going to be a speaker, and then everybody who you talk to gives you a yes. It does not work like that. It does not. I don't care how much you pay. That's why I'm coming here to tell you, you can save that money. You can do what I'm going to tell you, what I'm telling you to do. And it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't. It's not an overnight thing. So let's go. Let's get into it. So this is how you're going to pitch yourself strategically. Okay, folks? So I love the email. And when I say email, you can do LinkedIn as well. Okay, LinkedIn, you're talking directly to the person. Email, you're sending the email, and sometimes they bounce back, but you should do both. Okay, so you're going to craft an email that highlights what you can offer. Okay, and here is a really simple template. And I'm going to tell y'all a trick that I do once I tell you this. So the simple template is introduce yourself and your expertise. Write this down. It's this simple. Number one, introduce yourself and your expertise. Then number two, state your topic and how it benefits their audience. State your topic and how it benefits your audience. Their audience, I'm sorry. And then number three, the part that people do not do. You know what it is? You need to ask for the opportunity. You need to ask for the opportunity to speak. It's that simple. The problem is we want to tell people what we do, and we don't want to ask the question. We don't want to actually pitch what it is that we're doing. So we're going to ask for an opportunity to speak, and we're going to suggest a possible format. Now, honey, tell me how long y'all sat in them speaker courses to get this information. I've been online for 19 minutes now, and I done gave you 4 strategies that work, but you got to work the strategy. You can't just sit here listening and saying, oh, yeah, that makes sense. You got to actually do the thing. I'm going to tell you how to do the thing. Give me a minute. Let me cook, okay? So, the next thing, so when I say tell them the possible format, are you available in Zoom? Do you do webinars? Do you do panels? Do you do in person speaking? Let them know. That's the whole purpose in pitching yourself. You're pitching yourself and potential ways that you all can work together. And you can simply say, I'm available for engagements in person, over Zoom, webinar, or panel events. I have a speaking engagement today. I am going to be doing 2 things. I'm going to be a panel participant, and I will also host my own session. So I'll be hosting a session, and I will also be a panel participant. And the session that I'm hosting has the most signups. And I'll tell you why. Just let me get you going. Okay. So then you also when you pitch, you also want to include that one pager as an attachment. See, this is why I'm telling you, if you follow the steps that I done gave you, see, now you can't really do these like out of order and how you want to do them, because that's not going to really work out for you. Okay. So let me just recap for you. Make sure that you know what your topic is and who your audience is. You want to be crystal clear. And we're not talking about working in school. We're talking about your area of expertise and how it can serve and inspire others. And then you're going to start with your existing network. We are not going to people who we don't know, because again, I promise you, you're going to get some no's, but I also promise you people are going to know what it is you do, and you will get some yeses. But you got to be willing to do the thing. So you're going to start with your existing network. And I'm not just talking about the people who you talk to every day. You're going to go back, you're going to think about the organizations you've been in. I recommend you make a list. Go ahead and make your list. Schools that you went to, schools that you worked at, professors that you know, people in the business world that you know, organizations that you've been a part of. I used to be a board member on a school board. I went back and I sent that quick email and LinkedIn message to the other 6 people who were on that board. And guess what? 2 of them responded back, was like, this is really great information. I'm going to forward this to the organization that I work with, and they're going to bring you in because they already know me. They already know that I'm going to deliver. They already know Chanel can do this. So then you got to have your one pager created so that you can attach it to the bottom. That does, you can have a one pager done today, people. And then you're going to pitch yourself strategically through email and through LinkedIn. So I hope this is making sense so far. I'm not through. And then um, the other suggestion that I'm going to give you, which is number 5, and I think that you can do this in a number of ways. Okay, you can do this in a number of ways, but I recommend that you put yourself on a speaker platform like the Speakers Bureau, or they have a lot of different platforms. They have a salad gig, like a salad that you eat, salad, SALAD, gig, GIG. But you can put yourself on these platforms, and then when people are looking for speakers and you cover their topic, they will reach out to you. And that price ranges. Um, but of course, a lot of times the people who are making the big dollars for speaking, and when I say big dollars, I'm talking about anything over $5,000, they're not really on salad gig because they already know how to get speakers. So my friend, she just, well, it wasn't just, it was in October. Well, it was, because this is November, it was October. She had a speaking event on October 12th, and she got it off a speaking gig. She didn't have to do anything. She had posted her stuff on there, and then the people came and contacted her, and her price is $1,000 for 30 minutes. And so she was paid her $1,000 for 30 minutes. And she speaks about mental health for folks with chronic illnesses. And so let me give you, just so that you can understand what I'm talking about. So she was a former teacher, and in her, I think it was her third year, it may have been her fourth year of teaching, she was diagnosed with MS. And so, due to the diagnosis and the progression of the disease, she had to stop teaching. And then, when she stopped teaching, she fell into a depression, and she also had to deal with her health. But because her illness is invisible, there is nothing when you look at a person where you be like, oh, you got MS. People would think that she was okay or that she was faking, when really she was struggling and having a hard time, and her body was turning on her. And so it led to a lot of mental health issues and mental health struggles. And she had a bout with suicide and everything. And then, over the years, she got herself together, but then she found that she was helping other people who have MS or other invisible illnesses, chronic illnesses. And, she was giving them tips and stuff. So she ended up creating a business around that. Well, now she speaks about mental health or mental well being for people with invisible illnesses. But her speech is about ways to be resilient, how to be resilient. You see what I'm saying? I hope y'all are making this connection, because I really want to make the connection for you. So her speech is about the five ways to be resilient, 5 ways to be resilient. Even though she is a person who speaks about mental health and invisible illnesses, and her 5 ways piggyback directly on, her having MS and the struggles that she has and how she overcomes it each and every day, and how you can overcome whatever struggle you are having each and every day. So the strategies that she shares is good for anybody, whether you have MS or not. It's just, if you're trying to overcome this big thing and it has had an impact on your mental health, then this is a thing that you might want to do. Here are 5 strategies. So I hope that is helpful in helping you all to understand how to craft your topic so that it is a little bit broader and not just directly about teaching. Okay, so I want you to use the speaking platforms. And I gave you one. Well, I gave you two: the Speakers Bureau and the Gig Salad. And then there are some that are paid for, where they will tell you the upcoming conferences and events and speaking places so that you can submit to speak. You see what I'm saying? You can pitch yourself. You got to have people to pitch yourself to. Okay. So I'm also going to tell you how you can pitch yourself. So even when you go on to LinkedIn, I love LinkedIn, y'all, because first of all, LinkedIn is all about businesses. It's all business and companies. It's not just about people who just want to come on there and kick it. On LinkedIn, that's your key to success. So when you go to LinkedIn, you want to know who you pitching yourself to. Y'all want to know who you pitching yourself to? It's real simple, girl. Go to the bar at the top and put in the keyword director of events. Put in event coordinator, and it's gonna give you a list. It's gonna give you a list of all of the people who are event coordinators. It's gonna tell you what company they work for. If you are looking for a certain area, like for her, she does mental health, event coordinator of mental health events. What? Hey y'all. What? Y'all owe me coffee. Y'all owe me coffee right now. Oh, I wish I had my buy me a coffee thing, because y'all owe me a coffee right now. See, I don't even ask for much. All I ask for is a little coffee. See, I got my coffee right here. You see this? And yep, I drink my coffee with a straw. So go over to LinkedIn. And then I gave you the format to pitch yourself. And then I told you what needs to be in the one pager. I'm giving you all of the tools. I don't know what you want me to do. The only other thing you want me to do is do it for you. And that's not really my area of expertise. Design, that's not me. So you got to do the things. So then my next recommendation for you is to really, start small and build the momentum. Now, I really want us to stop thinking that, and I don't mean to crush your dreams. That's not what I'm saying. I know some of you all want to be on stages with thousands of people, and that is possible. That is totally possible. And I want you to know, honey, you can build your own stage. Social media allows you to build your own stage. And things are done a little differently these days. Sometimes I give a message or I'll do a live and I'll have 1,500 people to watch it. And then sometimes I'll do a live and I only have 20 people to watch it. But is that not having an audience of 1,500? So we definitely need to use social media to build visibility. Use social media, and it also allows you to practice, but it is a powerful tool that can be used to get noticed. What she say? She said, "What's your email so we can send you a Starbucks gift card?" Oh, I'm at info@educatorsmovingon.com. Info@educatorsmovingon.com. Yes, and I normally have a buy me a coffee, a little thing where you can just buy me a coffee, but I don't know what my link is. I don't know what I did with it. I'm gonna have it ready for next time because I like doing these little Saturday morning lives where we give just real strategy so that you can go out here and make money. So I want us to really start using social media. And thank you, Melissa. Thank you so much. I really want us to start using social media because it is such a powerful tool to get you noticed. You can start by just sharing a small, short video or something that showcases your talents. One of the things that I like to do when I'm speaking at an event, they will take video of me and then I'll post the video that they took of me. So if you don't like just sitting in front of the camera like I'm doing now, like I feel like I'm on FaceTime with Melissa. I feel like Melissa, this is a conversation between Melissa and I. There are other people who are listening. I feel like Camille and I are in a conversation right now. I feel like I'm talking directly to you and that we are having a FaceTime conversation. That's literally how I think about it. And so social media is so powerful and you just have to figure out how to make it work for you, whether you want to go live, whether you're going to post clips, whether you are going to do postings, that's up to you. So the other thing that I will tell you is that, like one of the things that I do, I send out to my on my emails. I will remind people that, hey, if you're ever looking for a speaker or you know someone who's looking for someone who speaks about women empowerment, someone who speaks about resilience, someone who speaks about abundance, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. Reach out. Let's connect. If you need me to come into your mastermind, if you need me to come into your group, if you need me to speak on your stage at one of your events to help you to bring value to your group, I'm your girl. I'm your girl. And so I put that on my email. I have 10,000 people on my email list. And so when it goes out, they may not need me today, but it has let them know, oh, she will come in and speak. And then inevitably throughout the year, I get people who are emailing me saying, hey, you stated that you speak at events. Would you be willing to do blah, blah, blah? Sometimes they'll invite me onto their podcast. I have an invite in my email right now to be on a podcast of someone who I don't know. uh, I was on someone else's podcast and I said to them, I would love to be on your podcast too to talk to your audience about women building community. And that's what that podcast was, that episode was about. And so they in turn sent back, this was someone who listened, sent me an email, used my information to look me up, told me that I was on the Building Giants podcast. They loved the episode, and would I be willing to come onto their podcast? Absolutely, I would. So we just have to speak about it. She said, yes, build the list. It's your future gold mine. Absolutely, absolutely. So then the next thing I'm going to tell you is, start small and build your momentum. Don't try to do, 1,000 person because you really do have to build the muscle. A lot of times we as educators, we think that because we talk at school, that makes us good speakers. And that's not the truth. I think that we are used to trying to hold our students' attention, but when it comes to adults, that's a little different. And students know that they have to sit there and listen because they're in a classroom. Adults don't have that. Adults can get up, they can go get coffee, they can go to the bathroom, they can walk out, they can do whatever they want to do. So you really have to understand that Speaking in the classroom is not the same as speaking on stage. And so I want you to start small. You can think about your local community meetings. When you think about, I can't even think of the name of the place. They have them in all of the states. They are these local organizations. I cannot think of the name of it. Hopefully, I'll think of the name of it. You can also do charity events and fundraisers. That's a great way to get your speaking out there. One of my first speaking events, and it wasn't really even a scheduled speaking event. My first one was at a charity event. I went to a scholarship fundraiser, and actually, my son was one of the ones receiving a scholarship. And it was a textbook scholarship. They paid for his textbooks for the whole year. And so they asked the parents to prepare some words to say to the other people in the audience or whatever. And I was like, okay. So I didn't really think of it as a formal speaking event. I just knew that I had to speak in front of a group of people. And so I prepared myself for it. And when I got up there, I was super nervous, first of all, because I am an introvert and I do not do a lot of speaking, just to groups. I'm normally speaking in small groups, but this was a large group. And so when I got through, I just had my three key points that I wanted to make, how I wanted to start, how I wanted to end. That's all I got. The speech was maybe 8 minutes. They clapped at the end. I was like, okay, I got through it. They clapped. Okay, good. Done. I go walk off, go over with my family. And then all these people come up to me. All of these people were coming up to me. And I was like, oh, what happened? And they were telling me, oh, the point that you made about this, oh my goodness, this is, and I was like, oh, my points landed. Oh, what I was trying to get through really hit. And so that led to the next speaking engagement. They were like, would you come to our charity event and speak about this there as well? So that little 8 minute speech led to other things where people wanted me to speak at. So start small. You can do local community colleges. You can do volunteer event. You can do charity events. You can do your school PTA meetings and small staff trainings. Y'all don't sleep on the small staff trainings. Melissa said them college students will walk out too. She said those college students will walk out too. And so if that is a skill that you need to hone, let's work on honing that skill. A lot of times we work on trying to sell the service when we have not built up the skill. So if that's the problem, then you definitely want to speak to that. Camille says, I would be speaking to both groups, but breaking down the myth that immigrants are a threat to job security. So I would name it something that is the opposite of what they think. So I would name it something because I like to give a little shock factor. You got to have something that's engaging, but I would name it something that's the opposite of the event. Let me give you an example. So the girl who was the former teacher who had MS and who had to leave her job and everything, the name of her speech, her topic is Angels Don't Fly. Think about that. Angels Don't Fly. That's the name of her speech topic. Well, her speech is about how one day when she was at an event or somewhere and she was having an MS episode. Again, it's an invisible illness. And so people can't just look at you and tell that you have something that is impacting you. And she ended up falling down the steps. She lost her balance. She fell down the steps. The event let out. The people were coming out, coming down the steps, and people just walked right past her. They just walked right past her, didn't try to help her up, didn't ask if anything was wrong. And her body was literally, she couldn't move. So she needed help to get up. And so the people kept walking. They looked at her and they kept walking. And there was this guy. She says, this guy stopped and he was like, ma'am, are you okay? And she was trying to act like she was okay, but she really wasn't. And she was like, yeah, I'm okay. And he was like, no, you're not. Let me help you up. And he helped her up. And as he helped her up, he saw that she was not stable. He told her, I'm going to help you over to the chair. You need to sit down for a minute. He sat her down and he said, ma'am, you don't look okay. Can you tell me what happened to you? And so she told him, I have MS, blah, blah, blah. He said, well, what are you going to do now? And she said, I'm just going to drive home. And he was like, you can't drive home in this condition. And she was like, I don't have any choice. I live in this town by myself. My family is over 500 miles away. My boyfriend and I, we broke up. So I don't have anybody. I got to do this myself. And so that gentleman who was he served in the service. He was a veteran, a young guy, did 4 years, got out. And so he actually drove her home in his car. And then he told her, if you'll trust me, I'll come back, get your car, and bring your car back to your house. She didn't have any choice but to trust him. He took her car, she got her keys, took, left her house. So she had to trust him to get in his car. She had to give him the address to her house. She had to allow him to take her into her house by herself with a strange man that she's never met before, who can obviously overpower her because he sees that she is weak as well. And so she had to trust him, and she gave him the keys. And when she gave him the keys, about 2 hours later, she said he came back with her car. His car was, he came back with her car, and he checked on her, and he told her, I just want to be a help. And that is where and how she was able to come up with her speech, Angels Don't Fly, because she said he was her angel that day, and angels don't fly. They're right here on earth, and you can be somebody's angel too. I'm just saying. I'm Okay, I'm just gonna leave that right there. Okay. So yes, Melissa, and somebody else said it. Chamber of Commerce and the Rotary Club. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The Rotary Club. Do you know that they are always looking for people to speak? The Chamber of Commerce is always looking for people to speak, and they have different women's chambers of commerce, black chambers of commerce, Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So they have different sub entities as well. They're always looking for someone to speak. But the Rotary Club, that's the one I was thinking of. Like, all you got to do, listen, go on to LinkedIn, go on LinkedIn, pull up Rotary Club with your state, send them the email, and then call. Stop being scared to talk to people. Stop being scared to talk to people. Okay, so I'm going back to Camille. So that's what I mean by your title, and then your description will explain what it is that you do. But your title shouldn't be so crazy. So think about the fact that she works in the mental health space, and the title of her speech is Angels Don't Fly. So they can directly see that correlation. So I would do something talking about how immigrants can be lifesavers or something like that, because truly they're not taking jobs that we don't want. They're working jobs that they worked in their homeland. And a lot of times they're jobs that we're not willing to work. A lot of times, I'm not saying every time, but I'm just saying a lot of times. So you really want to think about what are the three key points that you want to make first. So in speech development, you normally want to think about the three key points that you want to make, because you shouldn't be trying to make 5 and 10 and 15 points. What are the three key points that you want to make, or what are the three key strategies that you want to give? And then what is the story or the way that you're going to introduce it that's extremely engaging? And then how are you going to close it and wrap everything up? Okay. Melissa, look at there. Melissa done gave you a title, Camille. Your help comes from afar. Okay, because the help ain't always in our backyard, and the immigrants are coming here to help them, just like we are helping them. So they're helping us just like we are helping them. That's why we want them to come. That's why we want them to be a melting pot. And just for reference, Camille is in Canada. So Camille lives in Canada, and Canada has a lot of immigration as well. So it may be a different tone, although it sounds like Y'all kind of got the same tone as the US at this point. Yes, that is a great one, Melissa. That was good. Give her any other ones you're thinking about. Okay, so that's a great one. Your help comes from afar. And so the last thing that I'm going to tell you is to leverage any testimonials and referrals that you have. So once you get that first speaking engagement, because we're talking about landing your first speaking engagement, I've given you the steps to land your first speaking engagement. I've made you aware that you're going to get some no's, and that's okay. You will get some yeses. Nobody went out and just got yes, 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 get on my stage, hop on my stage. Yes, you no, that's not how it works. Nobody got that. Nobody. Nobody. Okay. So it's okay to get a no. They might give you a not right now. And when they say no, all you gotta do is can you consider me in the future? It's okay, people. It's okay. No is a part of life. And you know what? We gotta lose some in order to win. Nobody makes it to the championship with that. Most people who make it to the championship didn't win every game, but they still made it to the championship. That you can still win even if you lose a little bit in between. So um after you land your first speaking gig, by doing the things that I've just told you to do, if you make the list, send it out. Don't try to send it to one person or two people. I would love for you to make a list of 100 that you're going to send out in the month of December. What you say, Dr. D? Are you serious? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You can easily pull a list of 100 because guess what? You're going to go on LinkedIn. LinkedIn going to give you a whole bunch right there. You're going to look in your contacts. That's going to give you at least 10. And then you're going to think about your organizations and affiliations that you're going to send to. You're going to think about the colleges and sororities and all of that that you're going to send to. Now we're at least 80. And then you're going to look to see what are some conferences online that I can send to that have major events and pitch yourself to these conferences. Um, so look, she's giving you another title. She said, great help comes in different packages. Okay. Okay. So Camille says, thank you so much. Okay. So I want you to, after your first speaking engagement, I want you to ask the host, the person who brought you in, for a testimonial. It's that simple. Ask for a testimonial. And let me tell you, I also asked them, can you refer me to three other people? Are there three other people or organizations that you can refer me to help me to spread my message? But I definitely want that review, that testimonial. Of course, it's going to be amazing. And it's also going to help you to book future gigs when people can hear what the person who previously booked you had to say. So most organizers, this is what I want y'all to understand. When you're asking for the excuse me, I'm on. They're just talking behind me. So when you ask the organizers for referral, they're accustomed to this. They already know. But if you don't ask, they won't know. If you don't ask, they don't know. Okay. Oh, all right. She said, I have to leave, but feel free to connect with me and Melissa at melissaweathersby.com. I'm in Texas. Oh, I love Texas. And I'll be sending the coffee soon. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So make sure that you're asking for referrals and just say, can you refer me to three other people who I might be able to share this speech and this support with? And they are more than happy. They are accustomed to it. So I want you all to know it's just that simple. Don't overcomplicate this. Booking your first speaking gig is all about being intentional, taking intentional steps, but also being very practical. You're going to simply define your message. You're going to tap into your network. You're going to pitch yourself strategically. You're going to know that you don't have to start super big and that each step builds momentum. And before you know it, you will be sharing your expertise on a bigger stage. So if you are ready to get started, drop it in the chat. Say, I'm doing it. I'm going to make it happen. Share this live with somebody who is looking to book their first speaking gig. And y'all let me know when you book your speaking gig. Y'all come, y'all get the gems. And some people come back and say, Dr. D, you know, I made X amount of money from what you shared. And then some people, they just take the gems and they don't come back and say it helped, it worked, or anything. But I know it works because it works for me all the time. I have a speaking engagement today. Again, I'm sitting on a panel and I also have my own session And that's what I'm about to get dressed for and head out to. And I'll take pictures and stuff and post on my Instagram page, on my Instagram and Facebook page, so you all can see that it really is that simple. And if you make a goal to maybe do one speaking engagement a month, that's just one a month, 12 a year. And even if you miss a month, you can still get the 12 in a year, 12 in a year. So think about, even if you only, now I don't recommend you charging $1,000, but I'm just using that as a low ball figure. Even if you only charge $1,000, 12 times 1,000 is $12,000 added onto your income for less than an hour of work. So my work today will actually take 5 hours. I got to be there from 12 to 4:30 because I'm on the panel. I'm also hosting a session, and all of the hosts of sessions have to stay after to do a meet and greet with the participants. So, and it's also about 45 minutes away from my home and then 45 minutes back. So, I just want you all to see how, depending on what type of session you do, how much time it could take. But normally, if I'm just going to be a keynote or if I'm just going to host a session, it's 1 hour. I always recommend that you stay after, because that's where you can really make connections and connect with people to be able to bring more leads into your business. But typically, if I'm doing a 30-minute or an hour, I'm there for maybe an hour and a half, and then I go ahead and leave. But today, because I'm doing two things, it's going to be a bit of a much longer day for me. So Camille says she's going to make it happen. She'll share. I will share. You are so inspiring. Always light me up. Yeah. So let's make it happen. Let's send it out. LinkedIn is our friend. Go ahead. This can be done over this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Get it done, and then you just begin to pitch, and people will take you up and see what you're talking about. And even if they don't remember, if they don't have a spot this time, they'll have a spot for you next time. And you just tell them, consider me